Hey guys, I'm skipping the IGN video with another gameplay for now. Otherwise, this character analysis will stay in my drafts for too long. So, today we will talk about the man who knows his way around and with the sharpest knives has the best detached glance that says, I know 7 ways how to slice you with my eyes closed, and he loves coffee and prefers to sleep surrounded by crates full of food. Moreover, he appears to be the fans' most popular choice when it comes to romance for the first playthrough of the Veilguard. This video is about Lucanis, his art analysis and predictions for his character arc. Technically, everything I will say in my analysis is a spoiler because every analysis has a database, right? So choose for yourself if you want to know more and discuss speculations in the comments. Let's start talking. Shame on me, I forgot to use this card for Nav. If you're willing to play, I will post it in the community tab on this channel so we can choose what traits Nav has. But Lucanis is our priority right now. Thanks to all the extra content, such as stories and interviews, I managed to gather many details that revealed Lucanis' personality. Let's start by crossing out something obvious. Lucanis Dellamorte is shaped by a rough upbringing after his grandmother Katerina, the first Talon of the Antivan Crows.
We crows are all the army Antiva has, but it's not like we can feel the garrison.
His training, brutal and relentless, left him scarred both physically and emotionally. When he was a child, Katerina would hit him with her cane whenever he made mistakes. He resented that cruelty for years, though with the wisdom of age, he now interprets this harsh treatment as her way of ensuring his survival in the ruthless world of the crows. He had tough lessons because of his status and the destiny Katerina planned for him. Since his childhood, Lucanis has not been a person but a function in a bloodthirsty machine of assassins. This life has not stripped him of all personal pleasures, though. He enjoys coffee and is an excellent cook. These small joys provide a pause from the violence and darkness that still define his existence. Lucanis gets his first cross. Dark past. If we follow the theory that Lucanis' tarot card has the same colors as the Pride Demon, and those glowing circles are actually eyeballs, we might suggest that he got his purple wings and nickname, the Demon, because of that. I have doubts though. Too many information from art and stories overlaps and messes with straightforward logic. It's very BioWare-ish to give us too many answers that don't match for 100%. However, what we can say for sure is that Lucanis is in his mid-30s now. He lives by a set of hardened skills such as discipline and commitment, channeling them into his work. At the same time, he demonstrates a cold, precise, and pragmatic personality. He's deeply devoted to his work, carrying out each contract with a lethal efficiency that is both calculated and ruthless. Despite his stoic behavior, Lucanis is driven by a strong sense of duty shaped by the strict training he endured under his grandmother. Lucanis also has an unusual physical reaction to magic. When something connects or manipulates with the Fade, he feels an itch in the back of his eyeballs. That's weird and unpleasant. This trait makes him stand out in a world of assassins and mages, making us guess what's happened to him after all. For that, he gets a cross on unusual skill set. I already told you how artists use shapes to play with our subconscious. If you haven't seen that curious lecture, check out other videos with art analysis. So, Lucanis fits into the frame of a villain if we look at his concept art, but let's examine him a bit closer. He is made of spiked shapes and angles without a trace of round or wavy lines. Even his facial features are as sharp and pointy as his weapon. The similarities and parallels we can notice in his body and clothes suggest that Lucanis is dangerous. That's the rule of concept art and character creation. Circles for kindness, angles for danger. It's a subconscious thing that artists borrowed from nature and the animal world. And if that was not enough, Lucanis has a dark purple color palette that speaks of a hypnotizing ambience, while the details of his clothes, whether it's a polished black leather belt or numerous daggers, they create a shining, distracting effect, forcing us to hold our breath and study every detail of his complex attire. And while we're standing there dumbfounded, he can easily slash whoever he wants within a couple of seconds in one swift move. Everything in this man screams danger and red flag, and that's why his character arc and transformation in the Veilguard will be messy but beautiful and maybe even brilliant. His past is dark and full of secrets. He took many lives in cold blood because it was his function. Yet he's not immune to emotions like loyalty and subtle, almost begrudging compassion, especially towards the enslaved individuals he encounters in Tevinter Night's story. He is a sinner, and his morality is vague. Yes, Lucanis kills without hesitation, but he doesn't revel in cruelty. He possesses a silent disgust for unnecessary suffering. For now, I'll cross out Sinner with a Heart of Gold on our card. What will happen in the game, though, we shall see soon enough. As his story unfolds in Tevinter Night, Lucanis' arc explores his internal struggle between the legacy of cruelty passed down by Katerina and his evolving sense of justice. He slowly starts to question the very nature of the crows and their work, moving from a detached killer to someone seeking deeper meaning and purpose. In other words, he's entering his midlife crisis a bit earlier, which opens many doors for experiments. This transformation is mirrored in his growing discomfort with the horrors he witnessed, such as the use of red lyrium, where he chose to enact vengeance on behalf of the enslaved victims rather than merely fulfilling his contract. Exposing empathy in his work could be brave, stupid, and admirable at the same time. Considering that he lived his life as a function, Lucanis starts to experience emotions that might redeem him and give his sins a higher meaning. After all, he is a murderer, and Bioware hinted that he has plenty of sarcastic lines in his banter. Also, he's in his midlife crisis, so I'm giving him a prediction of being a lovable a-hole with a potential for a love triangle. Let the man sip the pleasure of this life without consequences and have fun a little, okay? He really needs it. All this death and violence told him that life is short, and it's not yours from the start. So, I don't know, let's be kind and take him out to have a cup of coffee. Dine and wine him, just to let the man live a little for himself. Who knows what happens after it? Analyzing Lucanis based on the information provided forms the foundation for a deep, complex character arc that sees him evolve from a detached, disciplined assassin into a figure questioning the systems of power and morality that have shaped him. His journey could lead him to redefine what it means to be a crow, or potentially forge a new path as a defender of Thedas. So, let's speculate a little bit further. Lucanis' unique link to the Fade boosts as he becomes more engaged in contracts involving magic. His physical reaction to the Fade takes on more importance, hinting at a deeper, possibly magical connection that could be a blessing and a curse at the same time. As he continues to deal with mages and demons, Lucanis has already begun to wonder if his future lies beyond mere assassination, potentially involving larger threats looming over Thedas. Lucanis' evolving sense of morality reaches a climax when he actively frees slaves during a mission, forsaking his usual detachment. It explores Lucanis breaking away from the rigid traditions of the Crows and the weight of his legacy, making decisions driven not by contracts or gold, but by his own sense of justice. His actions might create tension with the Crows, who will see him as risking their business and reputation for personal reasons. What we can see is that Lucanis tries to shake off the mask. He refuses to be a function in order to discover his true nature. When functions, and I mean people who act like functions, when they question a soulless machine like a community of assassins, they get blamed for being irresponsible, childish, and even selfish. This crisis has no happy ending. Someone will get hurt or abused depending on the path that Lucanis chooses. As Lucanis grapples with his internal struggles, he faces the question of what kind of leader or man he wants to become. Will he remain a tool of the Crows, carrying out their contracts without question, or will he seek a higher purpose, possibly joining forces with the Veilguard? We know that he will join us, but to what end? It explores his potential for leadership and the difficult choices ahead as he navigates loyalty to family and the Crows, his disdain for cruelty, and his growing desire to fight for something greater. Alright guys, let's start a discussion. Do you think Lucanis is more complex and conflicted than it might seem at first? Or maybe his character was made entirely to please a particular part of the Dragon Age fanbase? And will you add more crosses to this card? I find Lucanis exceptionally intriguing. He might step further into his role as a protector, someone who uses his deadly skills not just to fulfill contracts or to become richer, but to stand against a rising tide of darkness threatening the world, all while fighting with his legacy as a crow. Who knows, maybe he has the courage to change them or himself for the greater good. After all, if the elven gods win, no one will have a chance to relax and drink coffee. Have fun, play video games, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!